Hello, just having a quick look at the few charts of interest here. This risk-off has come into play this week as I expected. The surprising thing is the lack of the VIX call buyers didn't show up. Those VIX whales that I was expecting haven't showed up, so it's quite unusual to see them absent. There's not really any particularly high open interest on VIX calls at all, which I'm really surprised about because this is a perfect setup here. It failed to make a new high. It's in a distribution here on the this bloody cold, I can't get rid of it. This was a perfect setup here for a double top. It's not really a double top, it's a distribution because it's within it's a ranging distribution, so, and you can see the low volume profile here, so that was a perfect example of a distribution. Now the potential target is down to the bottom here again, so I'm not saying it will get down there that far, but that's the target for the trade, right? So this is perfect, very far from the 100 MA here, so it's a perfect entry right there. Nice. This is a double top here on the 2 hour, right? It's the daily and the 2 hour, so that is a double top because double tops only occur at the end of a uptrend or a downtrend. If it's in a distribution like this, then it's just a distribution range. It's just the top of the ranging distribution there. It's the resistance area, right? It's not a double top. That's something that's a bit hard to get the hang of when you first start with this method, but now if I go to the 4 hour, we can see a bit more of what's going on. So that was that's the 4 hour there. Now see that resistance, you can see it even better now, so it's even better. So that was because this is the 4 hour now, that is a double top on the 4 hour. Because this is not a distribution anymore on the 4 hour, it was only distribution on the daily. So the potential move is still to the bottom, but we've got the point of control here in the middle. So that point of control there is where price is going to meet. That was where that's a potential support zone there. So we've got to deal with that. Right, see how it's at the target. My initial target was down to the 100 MA here. So we go to the VIX now. And the VIX is really doing well. It's, as I said, it popped above the 2 hour here on the MACD, and then it become high probability. Then it's not, that breakout here wasn't a trade because it was still below the 0 line, right? So only there was the entry to go long. I've got some options on UVXY and junk bonds. Junk bonds are turning over a bit slower than I expected, but they are turning over. If junk bonds get momentum, if this really does turn into a full-on reversal, then it's going to take stocks down with it, down to that lower target. But the daily's not really showing, not really there yet on the daily, but it's looking like it wants to turn over, but that'll give momentum if it does turn over, so to the downside. So QQQ, that's been a nice one. That's been a reversal. Got some puts on that. It's a distribution as well because it's a flat Keynesian, so even though it didn't make it to the top of the range, it's still a distribution. That did touch it briefly there. We go to the 4 hour again. You can see that touched on the, did touch resistance there, and it rejected off it, but the target's down to the bottom here, so got quite a way to go yet potentially into this low volume area here. And so when you're looking at the volume profile, you should have it like that because it's a range. You want to look at that range there, so where that resistance was back to here. So that's a bit hard to explain to people. just a bit of a guide really, nothing much more than that. But so TLT has been where the safe haven bid has returned on TLT, got calls on this rather, and got way down from the flat Keynesians here, so and way down from the 100 MA, so that's a perfect. You can start trading it from here on the intraday, or else it's a 4-hour, 2-hour at that point. It's on the 4-hour, 2-hour entry there. And then a target back up to this high here, this previous high. Bund has been good too. Bund's been rallying again off that oversold area. Gold's been up nicely, and silver been trading the ETFs, gold and silver ETFs, taking calls on those. DAX has been down quite. That's quite a nice reversal on the DAX. It's been quite strong to the downside on the DAX. It's a nice reversal on the DAX, way down to the flat Keynesians in here. That bad economic data came out in Germany, so it's not surprising that it's turned over so hard. And the same in the UK. It did rally briefly off that. That was the entry there. It rallied briefly, but then it turned back down again. So if you got puts on there like I have, you don't worry about it too much. You just leave it go. It'll come good. The Keynesians down to the flat Keynesians here. So Nikkei. Nikkei is not really moving yet, but the Japanese the yen's been bid, so that's why I've got puts on the Nikkei. Oil's been good. Oil's been down heavily off that over hype about the shortage in oil, and then it been reverted back down again. Now it's continuing down to the downside. And natural gas has put in a reversal too. DGAS has been doing very well on this. DGAS has been a good trade. Emerging markets have been turning over as well. And Bitcoin's been absolutely hammered here. When I said this breakdown, watch out if this breaks down from this support here. That was the distribution here. From there to there, I said watch out if this distribution breaks down, and it has now. So Bitcoin, you don't want to try to predict the future of where it's going to go to from here, but it's certainly doesn't have much of a floor under it here. So where does it go back to here? Say for example, so that's a potential target back to this just above 5,000 level, back to this level here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this sells off hard now, because the weekly, I said watch out if this the weekly's turned over here. I said I wouldn't be surprised if that breaks down, that daily support, if that breaks, and sure enough it has broken hard. And that's where that goes to. I don't want to make any predictions about how far it's going to come back to, but certainly it's in the selling. Once the selling kicks off, that psychological level broke, and then the selling can really pick up. You don't know where. Once that flight mentality kicks in, then it can be anyone's guess where it's going to go to, but it certainly wouldn't want to be holding on to this at this point. But it's going to be probably a long-term reversal now. Who knows with Bitcoin? But it's certainly not. Certainly, I wouldn't be buying the dip on this. That's for sure. I'd be waiting to let this play out and let it do let the panic sellers get out of it, and then see where it goes from there. But it certainly had a good run up in that time there, and once it breaks below the key Jensen again, like it did here, once it got below the weekly key Jensen, there was no stopping it. Then it was just all over until for the whole of 2018, pretty much. So anyway, that's it for now. Just having a look at a few charts. That's it. Bye for now.